ladies and gentlemen, well, it is about that time. Hard mode on Workshop of Brilliant Light with the newest one. Yes, so this is the team that I am taking. I pre-recorded all my fights except one. I'll get onto that in just a second. So this was the first day when the update went live, and I hopped on, of course. So power level wise, we're doing slightly better. So we're kind of comfortable on that one. Suhyun's got the armed set and the curse set, really pushing for the defense, bypass the enemy's defense, and obviously the defense pen. Gina full blessing, and Azel's doing greed and expert. I mean, I'll at the end of the video, once I show all the gameplay, I'll show you guys the teams that I ran, of course. But yeah, decided to go with the defense pen team. All right, so this was my first run. Pretty much just kind of decided to kind of copy and paste to how I went about doing it on normal mode, and because obviously I had my power level was already slightly high, I was like, right, okay, I should be good. So obviously, as per usual, you go all in, get that breakage going as soon as possible. Since the ultimate is playing out from Azel's, of course, we can just rely on that chip damage. A little bit of lag just coming in there, since I don't know what it is. Every time I record with OBS, it just kind of cooks the game. But I don't know, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, pretty much Suhyun is the power unit. So in terms of obviously doing my video talking about Kaneheo, of course, with the Workshop Brilliant Light, if you have a disgustingly highly built up Kaneheo, like a high amount of investment required, then you might have a nice time actually being able to. It's not impossible. I have seen it been done, but the amount of high investment that I've seen people do is going like close to like A10. Like getting the additional 5 basically actually is A5, so A10 basically. But Suhyun is the better option in my personal opinion. Again, just really fully catering to that defense penetration meta. In terms of light typing, just going to keep it short and sweet. I don't even know why they have the light element there. I mean, to be fair, it will work in your favor for Sunjin-woo, but in terms of your hunters, unless you have a defense penetration kit for your light element team, then okay, no, I shouldn't say that. Even by having a defense penetration for your light element team, it's just not going to work out. And again, this is just from what I experienced from normal mode. If I wasn't able to do it on normal mode, there's no way in God's green earth I'm going to even bother attempting it on hard mode. So, but the thing is, I shall say this, if you are fully committed and it is something that you've already worked on, pre-worked on for your light team, then it is doable. And I say this from what I've seen. I've actually seen a CM player manage to do it, but they fully committed to the defense pen for their light element. So I feel like a lot of people at this current stage won't be there, and right now it's just too much of a higher investment to actually go about doing it. Plus, on top of with all the new other ways of gaining growth, just make your life a whole lot easier and just kind of cater to the better strat, aka as I am doing, of course. So there's that. But yeah, I would definitely say Suhyun over Kaneheo in terms of the Workshop of Brilliant Light, just to make it so that it makes your life a whole lot easier. So Suhyun's coming in, she's doing the deed, ultimate's being popped off. There we go. Obviously the rotation for her is actually pretty decent too. I love that second skill. It just burns through the health bar. It is so good. So good. Then it's just coming in. We're pretty much at the end right now. 125 HP left. Now, throughout my time fighting, I shall say that I got extremely lucky, because I don't think there's been a boss fight where I've cleared it with a lot of time. Every single fight that I've had, it's always gone into the red. Always gone into the red. So just barely scraping the barrel on getting this W. Oh yeah, this by the way speeds up a little bit, so be very careful. Be very careful. But there we go. And doing the final. Okay, there were 50 seconds left on the clock. Also, Gina is such a helpful support character. Obviously, not only with allowing us and buffing our fire element team, but that freeze that she does is actually extremely clutch, because obviously Suhyun has an issue where it takes an absolute decade for her to pop her hits, So, you know, combining Gina's freeze with Suhyun, it's given us enough time to actually capitalize on the attacks and actually get them off. I mean, that and also dropping your shadows at the right time keep the enemy distracted. So, as much as I've said bad about Suhyun's attack, it kind of being slow and it takes a hot minute to actually pop off. Yeah, there are things in place with the support play and the shadows play that you can kind of comfortably use Suhyun. And there we go. So that was the first fight. Defense penetration team doing what they need to do. So that was that one, all done. Now I'm just going to show this just for the sake of showing it. In terms of the buffing stage, as I've mentioned, the buffing stage, you can, if you choose to utilize your light element. I mean, you can also use fire element, it's up to you. But the reason why I use the light element is because of this man right here. His ultimate pretty much does AoE. And so the thing about this particular fight, if you guys wanted a little bit of a note, is that the enemies do like to group together. So like, for example, if I don't use my shadows right there, they pretty much would have been all around me. But I mean, they are somewhat grouped, and as you guys can see, we did a nice little AoE clearance. Only a few left. Core attacks do hit super hard with these units, and so that can cleanse these enemies a lot sooner than later. So pretty much just doing the rotation. But yeah, when it comes to getting this first bonus buff stage, if your fire element is looking good in terms of power level and whatnot, then go about doing that. They will blitz through these bosses, but I'm just giving you guys an option and letting you guys know, if you have your light element team built up quite nicely, you can choose to go maximize this first buff stage with your light element. Alright, so the next wave, or the next boss fight now. So as you guys can see with my applied blessings, I opted out to get 2 blessings that will give me basic attack and core damage up, because I'm using both the fire weapons that well, they do big damage on their cores. Well, primarily the Phoenix Soul Bow, and then the other buff I've got gives me 18% critical hit damage, of course. In terms of my skills, I am using the I forgot what it's called. It's basically the dagger rush for fire element. You guys know the dagger ruin that everyone utilizes to do high amount of damage. Go figure. And then the almighty break, but it's the light element, so that way I can get my 40% defense, and it's just a lot quicker to pop off. So pretty much, as you guys can see, the whole play, it really is just utilizing the new fire fan to get the demon buff activated, because once that gets activated, your fire element damage just bumps up to a whole hell of amount, and it's a permanent buff. So yeah, we're going to be doing high amount of damage very consistently, as you guys can see with the support play, keeping with the fire elements. Azel for the breakage, Gina for the support healing, as well as freezing. I will say, and I'm not going to stop saying it, Gina's freeze for this fight is just god tier. Not only is it such helpful for Suhyun, of course, to get the attacks off, but it's super clutch for like the likes of Phoenix Soul Bow, because you're trying to get all your core shots off. So being able to freeze the enemy, Gina is just such an amazing character for that. So halting the enemy. But pretty much just kind of doing a little bit of a combo wombo, what I've got figured out. And what I like to do, what I mean by that is I utilize the ruin, the dagger rush rune, that will then actively give me a free core. So what I then do is I utilize the fan, which will make me dash over to the other side, and then I'll activate Gina to freeze the enemy, and then I'll switch over to my Phoenix Soul Bow to maximize damage. So right there, I just saw boom, boom, boom. Right, so I'm getting all my shots off, I'm maximizing all my damage. That's primarily what I'm trying to do with my combination every time I get a chance to potentially get it all off. So again, you do the dagger rush, you get your free core, you do your fire fan, you then pretty much fly over to the other side. If you can get Gina involved, freeze the enemy, use your Phoenix Soul Bow, and that's you fully maximizing your damage. So core, fan, Phoenix Soul Bow, Gina's just Gina was activated when I activated the fan. So yeah, so that's basically the rotation that I tend to do, or that I try to do, should I say, with this boss fight, of course. And then obviously, if you're not doing that, then you can go about, using the other ruin. So in this case, when it comes to the almighty break, It's more for just get my defense up. And there's Gina coming again, freezing the enemy. And yeah, me just kind of, I'm not gonna lie, the ultimate really doesn't do much for me, but hey, it's chip damage. It's, you know, I don't think the timer plays out when I'm doing the ultimate. So there's that. So dives bomb, gotta do a double dodge because there's 2 parts to that. Keep that in mind. By the way, I should also mention, if you stay behind him, he will always kick. He will always kick. So you can actually utilize that to your advantage, to where if you are behind the enemy, move away once you're there for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, so that way you've got that confirmed action that he will do the kick. So it basically gives you that, you know, couple of seconds play around room for you to then slide off to the side and to do that, to do more damage, and you can stay there for quite some time because you know that that attack animation will play out. So once again, using Gina, stunning, freezing him, you know. And then the Phoenix Orb really did come in clutch right there when it came to that Phoenix. So at this very given moment, I'm looking at the timer and I'm just like, oh my god, I've got to do whatever damage I can. And unfortunately, the ult didn't kill him. So this is where I started panicking a bit. I was like, oh my god, he's doing everything to avoid me. But I just started, I'm not gonna lie, I started button mashing. I was button mashing so hard. I was like, please die. So I just managed. What was the timer on that? Yeah, 5 seconds. Look at that. Just managed to scare it. So I did also I have tried this with the light element team, weaponry, and it just didn't really work out, to be fair. Especially with the support play that I've got going on. Yeah, I just kind of maximized the fire element team, and plus the fan itself, keep in mind it's an all-rounder fantastic weapon on having a lot of coverage, so that's also a huge benefit. Now I'm going to throw this in here too. So obviously when it comes to the second buff boss wave, as you guys can see, I've got Kanahe in action. So this is when I did my showcase video for Kanahe. Well, not exactly much of a showcase video, but just kind of letting you guys know how great of a character that she is. And I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Because typically what I tend to do for the buffing stages that I've done previously is I use my light team, because you can. Thomas is still a fantastic character. He still hits hard. You know, you go in the right setup, my man is going to be fiending, right? And so that's typically what I do with these stages, but I kind of wanted to see Kanahe in action. And yeah, in terms of doing this stage with the light element team compared to Kanahe chopped this boss fight up a lot quicker than Thomas would, but it's still feasible and doable with your light element. I should say that my Thomas is like 300k plus power level, so like of course he's gonna rinse and this boss fight, you know, depending on how strong your characters are, you know, just kind of be wary of that. But yeah, so with this buffing stage, yeah, I decided to use Kanahe, and if you just look at the health bar, she is just blitzing through it. Okay, so this is the final boss fight. Now I need to apologize because as you guys can see, the fight is going straight with the hunters, which, as you guys know, you have to do Sun Jin Woo's fight, then you do the hunters. Now, I forgot to record Sun Jin Woo's fight. My bad. I beat him with 1.66 seconds left to spare. I just didn't think I was going to beat him, so my apologies on that one. But I decided to make sure, well, I made sure I recorded the hunters. So if you look at my buffs, wait, if I go back, I mean, yeah, no, I'm going to have to show you it because I've beaten the raid. So 5% break effectiveness, enemy takes 15% more damage, 11% attack increase, and that is, I think that's 18% critical hit damage. So that those were the blessings that I decided to go with, of course. Okay, so pretty much at the very beginning, when it comes to the final boss stage for the hunters, yeah, when he does that beam, try to do 2 dashes, because of course every time you dash, Azel fires off those, I don't know what they are, swords? I don't know. And they give you extra break damage, of course. So she can really blitz through the enemy's breakage bar. And once you get to like 2 bars, activate the ultimate and then start your rotation to get Sohyun into that, where you can maximize damage super soon at the very beginning and start making your way to the next phase. So everyone is being dropped. I'm trying to get as much debuff as I can, and I'm going in with Sohyun, obviously maximizing that defense penetration, blitzing through the enemy's health bar. And obviously when you do the rotation switching out, make sure to always do either a core attack or a second skill with fusion and then go into Azel. Again, at the end of the day, you're just trying to maximize your damage, of course. So now we're in the second phase. This one I thought was going to be a bit tricky or a bit tough, but as long as you've got Soohyun, you'll be fine. So always with Gina, make sure that she's doing her second skill. I don't know why she decided to look the other way, but it's fine. Soohyun can really blitz through these objects, of course, but just keep up with the rotation. Just keep switching in and out, of course. So the boss is trying to get his last bit of orbs to come to him, or eyes, call it what you will, but I managed to get a quick little break there. And so at this moment, obviously I want to maximize Gina giving me some more damage since my Soohyun's at the ready with her ultimate. So, and also we can freeze the enemy, so that's also very, very helpful. So sorry, Gina's doing her damage, and so now because he did the beam, he's not moving, so that gives me more than enough time to maximize all my damage. Make sure to at least pop off one ultimate, so we've got a high crit on that one before he moves out and goes over to the next phase. Again, with each phase you're just trying to maximize so much damage. So this one's fairly simple. Just stay on the red marker. Oh yeah, did I hit the red marker? I didn't even pay attention to that. I thought I dodged that. Oh well, the more you know. Run over to the portal, he'll spawn in. Just be very cautious here, because obviously at this moment, at some point he will get his breakage. There we go. So the bar is back up. So that's when you want to maximize Azum. Also make sure you get your ultimate at the ready, because at the end of the day you want to get that breakage or the break bar gone, because that will slow down the process. Hence why I went with the buff to get some form of break effectiveness. And again, all I've got is 5%, so make sure to dodge. Obviously be cautious that when he does jump in the air, there's two types that he can do, because there is another jump in the air that he does where he'll do a second attack to it. So maximizing Gina's buff as per usual. Shields applied, going in. Obviously he ran away. Well, I thought he would have ran away, but he did something that I love him to do, and that's kind of do some attacks that gives me enough time to pop off my hits. So there we go. So now we're over to the next phase. I believe this is the portal hiding one. There we go. Now the good thing about this one is if you look at my Soohyun, she's pretty much ready to go crazy. So this is actually good timing. Obviously I did summon the shadows a little bit sooner, so that way they can get their attacks in. I am running Big Rock because when Big Rock does his hits for 30 seconds, I believe, if I can remember correctly, he drops the enemy's defense by 30%. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna utilize that. I've got a few things already in place to where I can bypass the enemy's defense. Let me cater more to that. So now we come to the end. He spawns his grunts in. I like to do some AoE attacks here, so that way I can focus on the main boss whilst those, whoever they are, gets hit through AoE. So as you guys can see, they're all being cleared out right now. So yeah, you want to utilize your AoE attacks or ultimates when they spawn in. So right now Soohyun has got this floor, making sure that the rotation is being applied as I'm still doing hits. Health bar is low, so got to be very cautious now. So again, making sure that I'm maximizing my pulse. I wasn't even prepared for that. My guy beam. Imagine if there was beam clashes in this game, bruh. So Soohyun once again is at the ready. The breakage bar did come into place. Oh yeah, he does do one of those break stance, so just be wary of that. Thankfully he did it when he had his breakage bar. If he does it when he doesn't have this breakage bar and you're on the next rotation, oh, that is going to be a killer, and that might actually cost you the game. So just be very cautious about when he does that little breakage stance and has his next set of breakage bar reapplied. So once again, it's gone now, and it won't come back in time for me to clear him out. So 30 seconds left on the clock. At this moment, I'm just maximizing as much fire element buff I can get, and Soohyun should be able to clean out with the damage that she can push out. Look at that, look at that. She's just blitzing. Drop that ultimate because I've got the core play on that gives me my critical hit damage increase on my skills. And he kind of cucked me there. I was like, yeah, this is it. And then it's just like he dodges and attacks, and I'm just like, bruh, are you kidding me? So again, in this moment, I am panicking. I'm just like, I can beat him. I just need Soohyun out here. I can do it. Ugh. 3 seconds left on the clock. I'm just like, I know I can do it. I know Soohyun's got the power to actually completely obliterate him. But yeah, 3 seconds left on the clock. Soohyun is the girl to really maximize the defense penetration meta for this. I'm not gonna lie, they need to up the drop rate for the limit break item. What on God's green earth am I seeing? 1 on hard mode? What? Is that real? Oh my god. But yeah, that's Workshop Brilliant Light on hard mode, boys. So yeah, guys, this was the team that I used, of course. I mean, it wasn't this strong. I've only just recently worked on these characters to make them more stronger, but yeah, Fire Element that I used, full curse set, using the red for the core play, as well as the second one was light for the breakage, or almighty breakage. These are the blessings that I ran, and yeah, these are the cores that I've got in place right now for Sun Jin Woo, of course. But yeah, that's kind of where that team is at. And then again, for my hunters, this is my hunters team. This is what I'm using, of course. So greed, expert, full blessing, armed, curse. Yeah, and these are the current cores that I've got going on right now for my characters. So yeah, that's pretty much what I ran with. Again, when it comes to Sun Jin Woo, the additional blessings that I got were more in favor for the doing more core damage, and then having that 15% drop for the enemy to take more damage. So that way, on the initial buffs, I can do buffs for Sun Jin Woo, and then the second buff is to affect the enemy to take more damage. And then when it comes to the hunters, giving Azul that little bit of break effectiveness, and then outside of that, again, more damage buff. So that is how I decided to combat the Workshop Brilliant Light. I believe they've only just announced that the boss has been defeated just over 1,000 times. So if anyone is trying to get it done before the 3,000 mark, you still got a window of an opportunity to be in the 3,000 to get the exclusive rewards.